For centuries, the Peabiru Trail remained hidden, its paths and secrets buried beneath the dense vegetation of the thick forest. But to reach what is truly hidden in these unexplored regions, the expedition enters territory where relentless and challenging nature will be the greatest obstacle. From now on, nothing but experience will guide us. The real test begins here.
This is the kind of terrain that really tests our strength. It's dense forest where it's easy to get lost, and the ground is very clayey, but we keep moving forward until we reach the staircase.
Each obstacle is a reminder that we are facing the unknown, but all these challenges are worth it because it is here, in the heart of the forest, that more than just races are hidden the legacy of Brazil's history, something that is very valuable not only to us but to future generations as well. What is hidden here is the key to understanding our origins, and being part of this expedition, despite all the challenges, also means being part of this history. And the mission is clear. Move forward, no matter the challenge.
It's now time to head to the majestic mountain. We truly do not know what exciting things we will find ahead on our journey, so we are going to meticulously start packing our sturdy backpacks with all the necessary and essential equipment and supplies. Hey Sean, how's your radio battery doing?
It's fully charged.
Mine's charged there, you bring in an extra battery?
I am.
And the kit, the first aid kit is with you too, right? I'm gonna put the drone in here so we can get some aerial shots. Since it's a very enclosed environment, I'm also bringing the magnetomes.
Good.
It measures the magnetic field and some anomalies. Power bank, all the flashlights.
No, don't forget the compass either, right?
No, the compass is already in here. I'm gonna bring the smaller kit too, so it goes on the side. I'm bringing 2 flashlights, plus an extra battery as well. These 2 radios go in here too.
Hey GPS, you lead the way for us. You go in front.
All right.
Ready for the challenge?
Always.
Then let's go then.
Let's go.
The helicopter will fly over the area to give us a more strategic view. With technology, we'll scan this entire area, and we'll also challenge ourselves on this ground and venture into this terrain. The idea is to combine the best of both worlds, aerial view and our path on the ground. We already know that we're searching for traces of the path created by peoples who mastered nature. So today, it's nature itself that points us in that direction. These peoples use strategic vision with knowledge of geography and mathematics to create this path.
On the journey, you need a reference point. You need something that shows you the way. The hills, right? The mountains, the hills. Any rocky formation that creates a geographic feature in the terrain, they serve as reference points over long distances in the landscape. So the archaeological potential of these regions, where there are mountain ranges and hills, increases greatly. When we talk about paths, about the movement of pre-colonial populations, these are reference points for moving through the landscape. This ability to see the landscape over long distances also allows you to do a bit of game management. So these are 2 points that strongly indicate that there was the possibility of moving from one place to another here, which are the visual command of the landscape, right? And this prominent reference in the landscape scenes, we're talking about a high peak, a high place that can be seen from many kilometers away.
A domain that we were only able to see by flying over the region.
All right, now let's find a stretch of the Peabiru trails. From what we saw from above, if we follow this trail for about 100, 200 meters, we'll reach the trail. Let's go. Careful, the stairs start here.
An absolutely incredible, truly indescribable feeling to finally discover this particular part of the path that had not been previously explored or found yet.
This isn't just any trail, but a path that was built, carefully planned. The stones are laid out with precision, as if they were markers left by hands that understood not only the land, but also the nature that supported it. What we're looking at isn't just a stone trail, it's a feat of engineering that challenges our perception of what's possible for an ancient civilization. The path tells us about a people who not only used the land, but knew it deeply. A people who knew how to connect with nature, making it not just a means, but a purpose. Every element here is not just functional, but reflects the intelligence of a creative and ingenious civilization.
I'm talking about a time that predates the use of stone, hand axes, bows, and arrows. It's much earlier than that because everything indicates that this connection, this network, this path or these paths that we are visiting and discovering every day, something like this existed long before a civilization far earlier that connected, that knew what it was doing, and created a design beneath the electromagnetic grid, guiding the peoples who live there to walk precisely on top of these stones, these paths. Sometimes it's grass, sometimes sand, other times it's just stones, ditches. So all of this is evidence that it wasn't just our ancestors, the indigenous peoples, but also other influences, other civilizations that predate the flood, that predate, let's say in Brazil, prehistory or even the very history of humanity, right? So we're not just talking about 3,000 or 4,000 years. We can go much further back than that.
Look here, you can see there are some spots with the retaining wall. Look at this. This here is stone. They built a retaining wall on the side.
So we can see that this path is a bit narrower, right? Then some of the others we've already passed, which are wider. The branches actually, right? Exactly. But then you see on the way up, we've already noticed in other places that they alternate the stones like this as if you already have a map of where to step so you can climb up more easily. Exactly. And here we see that throughout the whole uphill path, they really use stones at this point. And here we can see this alternating, right?
Exactly. We can't see where it goes anymore. So it would really be interesting to use LiDAR so we could know, because here, even with the drone above, it's pretty complicated. The forest is dense, right?
The forest is dense. So we could arrange, right, to use LiDAR here so we can gather more information about the site.
The research is carried out with patience and precision. Sometimes it's necessary to retrace the path to find the truth. Even though technology speeds up the process, on the path of discovery, each step takes its own time, and every repetition is a chance to look deeper into what's hidden.
We can notice a lot of things, right? Sometimes just one flight isn't enough. We notice something and we need to return to the location to do a more in-depth flight. Sometimes we do a cross flight to get a more detailed view of the area.
At every stage along this path, it felt as if nature was challenging us.
The flying conditions aren't very good today, are they?
No, since we have gusty winds, right, there are gusts of up to 50 kilometers per hour. So the risk is higher, you know. If we try to fly the drone, we might significantly drift, right? And the drone could potentially get blown over the dense forest, deep into the surrounding woods. So the risk is even higher, you know.
But you can see it over there, right?
Yes, we can see it. We're in control. The flight, even though it's autonomous, is monitored the whole time, you know. We're always paying attention here, and if anything happens, we stop the process, take over, and try to bring it back.
So the app says it's not good for flying, but...
Yeah, according to the app, we shouldn't be flying right now. But since we're stubborn, right, and if Alesis was against it, then let's go for it. Yeah, we did a flight first without the sensor just to see if it was possible. The drone accepted it, so then we came back, put the sensor on, and we're going again. It's out there collecting data now.
After overcoming the dense forest and the strong wind, the extensive research moves steadily forward. The very first data are now starting to reveal precious and significant fragments of what was once the ancient Peabiru Trail.
All these pieces, all these artifacts show evidence of an intervention in humanity, not just for 1, 2, or 3 years, but for thousands of years. So all of this reveals that there were indeed visitations and that someone guided the making of these roads, the construction of these paths. So it's the collection of these pieces of evidence that really make us reflect, to think a little beyond what history has told us, beyond what has been discovered so far.
But beyond the challenges, what we find here is a natural paradise. There are waterfalls, rivers, mountains, and lush vegetation. All of this isn't just of historical value, but also has great ecological potential.
What treasures do we have here in Garuva, right? Well, we have the Quiriri fields. It's a treasure, really fantastic. So much so that today we're working on the management plan for the Quiriri Environmental Protection Area precisely to preserve it in a sustainable way, especially since there's a community there. So our goal is for it to be used sustainably, but also with the focus on the community and on preservation. It's the same with our Monte Cristo, right? We have stories, legends, and impeccable natural environment. And we're also looking into what can be done there at Monte Cristo, aren't we? Today, we're studying the possibility of creating a new conservation unit precisely for preservation and to promote sustainable tourism.
Not to mention the entire economy that's going to grow, grow, and grow. And we'll finally get the recognition we deserve, because we truly are the capital of the Atlantic forest. I say this with great pride. Juquitiba has so much more to offer and achieve. We just hadn't learned the lesson yet.
This effort toward preservation and development brings a new perspective to the Peabiru Trail. Brazil's historical value, now more evident with the study of the Peabiru, reaffirms the need to view the country as a cultural center of global importance. These discoveries make Brazil not only a country of natural riches, but also a center of innovation and history.
The expectation now is that with this movement, which is supported by the government, things will take a new direction, and generate not just prosperity, but also a greater expansion in terms of knowledge about what the Peabiru really is.
The Peabiru Trail holds great significance for the state government. Here at the Department of Tourism, we've been mapping out what we have preserved, the Peabiru routes that exist in the state. And we've created a working group with educational institutions, organizations that focus on this topic, and municipal governments and we've realized that there's a great wealth of options we can offer to tourists, which can also serve as educational content. At the Department of Tourism, that's what we work on, right? One of our areas of focus is to map and gather information about tourism offerings, about what can be promoted, what aspects of São Paulo's culture we can highlight and turn into products, itineraries, and routes.
It's a first step, right? Recognition from the public sector is very important, isn't it? Having this partnership is essential because there's no point in going it alone. We need the government to support us, to make things easier for us to conduct research, right? Because some places are environmental reserves, we need authorization and we depend on public agencies to access certain locations, you know? So having the city hall, the municipalities, or even the federal government as partners is very important. So it's a step forward for us, you know, a barrier that we overcome considering everything we've already achieved, right? All the expenses, not just talking about cost, but everything, the research we've produced, you know? The knowledge we've created, being able to bring that to the public sector together with the government in general, and for them to accept it and be with us, to be able to collaborate is very important. And moreover, because this will bring visibility to the municipality, to its history, right? So it's interesting. I think it's in the political interest, in the public interest itself to have this information, right? To have this record, new records, right? New evidence about the Peabiru Trail.
Knowledge that is a true invitation for us to better understand our connection with the past and with the nature that surrounds us.
Babitonga Bay is much more than just a spot on the map. In the past, it was widely used because of its abundance of natural resources, with fish and shellfish that were essential for the survival of those civilizations. Today, it still holds this crucial importance. It also drives the economy of the entire region, both through artisanal fishing and ecotourism. Today, it's necessary to balance this local economic growth with the preservation of this unique environment. Before, it was just a passageway. Now it's a connection between past and future, between the wisdom of our ancestors and the legacy that must be preserved for future generations.
I believe it was a very advanced civilization with knowledge that was honestly surreal. And I think that, in my opinion, even today, all that knowledge, that harmony, that the mathematical precision of everything they did is truly something to admire. And how wonderful it would be if today's population, today's generation had the same nobility and the same effort and dedication as that civilization that built all these ames and the entire Peabiru. It would be really great if that happened.
The vastness of this nature, of this place, was not just a passageway, but rather a great spiritual and sacred exchange that existed among the peoples.
As we explore our country, each new discovery takes us deeper into a mystery that continues to defy understanding.
This knowledge that each person learned within their own nations, among their own people. So beyond everything else, he's actually a living library for these peoples, because they needed to exchange knowledge in order to learn how to live better. We have to remember that these peoples who lived back then, in much more ancient times, had a land that was much, much more alive and much wilder than what we experience today. So they needed to know how to live better, how to plant, what to plant. They needed to exchange seeds, to trade medicinal plants in order to treat their illnesses. So it was also a system of exchange, and also about the worldview of each of these peoples. This needs to be preserved, this needs to be recovered. This connection with Mother Earth, the connection with the Great Mother, the connection with Father Sky, with the Great Spirit, it's something that needs to be renewed. The human being needs to renew their vows with those who created us. We are cells of the Great Mother. And as such cells, we need to wake up and remember that, yes, we are nature. Certainly, the future is ancestral. And when we say this phrase, it means to reclaim all these ancestry of these peoples, to remember their concepts and apply them to our own time, today, to our modernity, to our lifestyle. So awakening the spirit of connection with Mother Earth and with Father Sky.
Someone knew the planet very well, a mother civilization that lived here before everything we know today. They lived here and still left evidence so that today, right, or maybe they even had this vision, or if they didn't, we are finding this evidence today and making the connection, putting together the pieces of the puzzle. And with that, let's bring to the light of science a wealth of knowledge from our ancestors, from those who arrived long before all of this existed, before humanity, before civilizations, before the question of ethnicities, right? So long before all of this, someone had already been here, had already visited the planet.
Who are the builders of the Peabiru path? Get ready for a deep dive into one of the greatest discoveries of our journey. The mystery of the civilization that once lived here is about to be unveiled.